There it is. What is up, everybody? Harrick and BX here, and welcome back to your Tuesday night delight here in the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. Welcome back to another brand new episode of Breaking the Mold, episode 150. Wow.
Just cranking them the fuck out.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it's 150. Jesus.
150. I didn't even realize it until I was like looking at the header there. That's incredible, man. 150 episodes. Quite an accomplishment. So let's just go around the yard, say what's up to the rest of the crew. Everybody's favorite meatbag, JD. I'll start with you, brother.
Yo, how we doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
How are you feeling? Feeling good?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah,
Nice.
here we'll make it official. There we go.
I was like, something seemed off. Something seemed a little off. You know?
There we go. Hope all the meat bags out there are doing well. Had a pretty good weekend. Tore the kitchen apart and got to smash and break things, and it was a good time.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a nice new what do you call it? Fucking chopping block stuff.
A butcher block?
Butcher block, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It's like
Yep.
it's a thick cutting board. That's what it is.
Yes. Yep. So we have like a little island in the middle of the kitchen, and it was all tile, and there was a sink, and I ripped out the sink and capped off all the plumbing pretty much, and I still have some stuff to do underneath the cabinet, but it's not a big deal.
So no more sink there.
No more sink.
Did you guys ever use that sink?
Yeah, we would use it.
No more.
No, I mean it's like, so between the actual kitchen sink, that bar sink, the laundry room sink, and the bathroom sink, they're all within like 10 feet of each other. So it's like, don't think we really need all of these sinks, you know, because literally right on the other side of the kitchen is the laundry room, and there's a sink right as you turn the corner, right next to the washer and dryer.
You know, last time I was at your house, so I tried turning one of the knobs, and no water came out.
I have that off. Yeah, I turned that off.
No water for you, Brian. No water for you.
Yeah. So that I think that's off, because the plumbing that came out of the wall, the original person that did the plumbing, they didn't stub them out real far, so the valves are like right at the wall, and I think the valves leak. So I have to tear that out and finish it,
Oh,
like fix it. But
Sounds like a lot of work, man. Like Adam does. I'm not talented. I'm not talented. I'd have to pay somebody.
it's just plumbing, dude. It's not rocket science or anything like that. Shit flows downhill. Payday's on Thursday. Don't put your fingers in your mouth. That's all you gotta know to be a plumber. So,
Nice.
but yeah, now we have a big butcher block in there, and some of the cabinets are coming out, and it's
wait, you're taking out the cabinets in the island, or the cabinets above the counters, or the?
no, the ones under, well, what would, like, half of the island, remember how it like steps down?
Uh-huh.
Those front two, the shorter ones, those have come out.
Oh, okay.
So yep.
I'm starting to get a picture of it.
Yeah, it really opens it up. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Got a nice butcher's block. Cutting a lot of meat on. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bread, fill that thing with cookies, because it's like this. It's the same length as what the whole island was, but without those other two, I guess, the shelving units there on the end. You'll have room for like a couple stools. You can sit there, and it's the same length. It's just you got a little overhang, and it's a lot, like, just one smooth surface for lots of cookies.
Yes.
Lots of monster cookies. Anyway,
Stand away from that stuff, even if they're gluten free. Just can't do it. Can't do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Put hair on your chest.
Oh man, thank God I don't have too much.
I know, me neither.
It's all here. It's all right
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't do that even if I tried. So, all right, dude. Good to see you. I missed you, man. I wasn't here last week. I missed all you
Good to
guys.
see you too. Good to see everybody.
All right, the analyzer, Brian Brink. What's up, dude?
Yo, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
You already asked me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did I? I'm sorry.
Yeah, everybody did. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of something. I had something to start the show with, but you know,
Lost it.
I lost
It's
it.
gone. It's
I
gone.
lost it. Yeah, you know, it's today. I was off yesterday. I'm back at work today, and so I'm kind of thinking about work. But yeah. Shit. I don't know.
I'm trying to let work go. I fucking took Friday off, right? And I'm supposed to have a backup. And no. I fucking go back to work today. Nothing's done. Fucking nothing. So I got to do, like 4 days of work. Because even though, the weekend, I don't typically work the weekend and Monday was a holiday, shit still comes in. You know what I'm saying? Shit you still got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm like, why do I get mad? Why do I get fucking pissed? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just a fact of life that my coverage sucks. It is what it is.
So I wanna have a little experiment. So Cody in the thing says that I'm a bit low in my volume. Am I low to you guys?
You do not sound low to me.
Yeah,
Alright.
to say you sound normal to me.
I mean, you're quieter.
I am quiet. See, the thing is, on Enter the Realm, Dust takes off the automatically adjust volume, me, puts me all the way up. And then when I go back and like sometimes I'll go back and re-listen to like a part of the show, like I'm louder than everybody else. I don't like that.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put you up. Hold on. Oh wait.
So
Do I?
It's an old Japanese proverb.
So what are you doing? You messing with me?
I'll put you up a little bit to see if that works. I don't know. I mean, let's see. I don't know if that's. I mean, you sound the same to me, but does it sound better to? Does it sound better to anybody else? You actually sound a little higher.
Now I'm higher. Is it better?
Yep.
I feel like I'm
it's a
echoing in my ears, but maybe that's just
Rogan was like, "You're a taste quieter, just a taste quieter, nothing."
okay. All right, let me check where it is. Where's
You sound
the
fine.
Settings.
Does he sound good now, guys? I don't want to blow out anybody's ears, and maybe we just can't hear it here.
All right, fine.
You think after
That's right.
150 episodes,
Right, we figured it out.
We'd have this
Right.
down.
Yeah.
Dust is like very low. He's saying very low. You don't
Yeah,
sound
see,
low.
now he says I'm very low.
No, he's fucking with you. He's fucking. He wants you to put this.
Together.
Well, the funny thing is like yesterday I kept moving it back, and then I'd go back and check it, and it's all the way back up again, and then I'd check it, and he moved it back again, and I check it. Yeah, man, it's the it's the give and take of doing the show.
Yeah. So, how was your weekend? Everything good? Like just chilled out? Was it a long weekend for you? You said you were off yesterday.
Oh
right?
yeah, I was off Monday. I decided to take a trip down to the Pinkertons.
Sweet.
I figure I've been seeing everybody this beginning of the year. Might as well get it in now while I can, before God knows what happens next. Swarms of locusts or whatever the fuck comes. By the way, this is the year of the cicadas. This is the 7-year or 13-year, whatever, cicada season. Those things are going to be everywhere, man. It's gonna be crazy. Deafening and loud.
Cicada, that was a horrible Flash villain a couple of seasons ago on the CW.
A Flash villain named
Yeah, Cicada.
Oh, God.
It's terrible. Should have been the fucking villain of the week, and he was the fucking big bad of the season.
I feel like we should remind people that while they look very creepy and they're very large and intimidating maybe to look at, that they are not harmful in any way, shape, or form. So we should, no, it's true, because people get freaked out by them, but they really don't hurt anything, and you can actually eat them, believe it or not, also.
Yeah, my mom's dogs used to eat them, and then their poops would be full of red eyes. Yeah. I tell you, man, there's this one time I was a kid driving down Marlboro Avenue, Plainfield, New Jersey, and and I was on my bike. All of a sudden, I'm just in the street all by myself, not a soul around me, and I heard this horrible buzz noise, and I almost fell off my bike. It startled me so bad. Turns out there was a cicada in the road. I ran over it, and well, I mean, I didn't totally like kill it. I must have nicked it or something, and it just gave out this huge buzzing noise out of nowhere. And it fucking, it's like that feeling when like your knees kind of go numb, like that's how like in shock you were. It was crazy. Alright. Fuck them. I hate them.
Well then,
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so anyway, I went down to Chris's, had a great time, just kind of hung out. He wasn't doing anything special, I got to meet Mason's girlfriend. She seems nice.
Nice.
And then I went over to Bobby's for a little bit. Figure while I'm in town, might as well go over there if he's home. And dude, those displays are just wild stuff. I can't wait for you guys to get a chance to see them. So I don't know where he keeps finding room in that basement. I've been in that basement probably like a dozen times, right? It's I don't know how he keeps arranging it to find more room to put things. It's pretty crazy.
Nice.
So it was good to see those guys. Yep.
Sweet. A weekend with some friends, man. That's good. Can't
Yeah.
beat that. All right. G Money, what's up, dude?
Dude, not much. It's good to see you guys. It's
Yes.
my weekend was the opposite of what you're describing because my business. We're on the verge of like the really really busy time of year, so I'm doing like a 7-day stretch. So I worked Saturday, Sunday. I worked yesterday, worked today, worked basically straight through Friday until Saturday this week, and then I'll have the weekend off coming up, which will be nice, and then basically work Saturday, Sunday until the end of March. So.
Damn, bro. No weekends off at all. Do you get anything off during the week, like to make up at least one day?
I mean, I'll still do like 2 days off here and there, usually like a Wednesday, Friday, based on just business needs and stuff like that. But it's kind of the norm. You expect it. You try to make it engaging for the team and stuff like that. But it. I figure it's better than what was happening last year at that time. So. I shouldn't complain too much, even though I probably will still complain to you guys. I'm tired and annoyed.
Yeah. When the holiday weekends, so they usually see a big spike in sales for the business.
We're busy. Yeah, I mean, we don't do any of the gimmicky stuff that you see in the old school places, but yeah, like those holidays, like King Day and President's Day and stuff like that. We tend to have a lot of foot traffic that comes in just because people are off. So. It's kind of interesting too because with Sunday being Valentine's Day, the afternoon was pretty quiet. I don't know, people are trying to get into early dinners and stuff last minute or things like that. But yeah, so it's pretty uneventful as far as that goes. But just want to give a quick mention to Esteban and Eric B for posting in the ROC Wellness group that we have. So we still have such a group. Jose, I know you're getting a little more active back in there again for yourself for some good self-motivation, but it's nice to see both those guys have been, more active and taking some steps for themselves since the first of the year. So pretty exciting to see what that looks like too. So
Yeah, and when you see things like that, it could be pretty motivating. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sort of helps a little bit with the accountability, and if people are honest and they slip, we could always sort of be the cheerleaders there to be like, hang in there. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody needs that.
Yeah,
So.
listen, and like I really specifically felt so validated. He's the first person to ever finally agree when we talk about cheat stuff, which I do enjoy. You guys know I will crush, some cheat type foods when we're hanging out together. But when he was like, yeah, it's a cheat meal, not like a whole day, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Just do like the meal and get back on track. So that was nice to see for those guys, though.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys, man. It's good to see that. I know Esteban said he has a wedding like in the summer, so I know that also helps for motivation and stuff like that. Sometimes it's not just how you feel, I know I felt like crap for a while there, like when I gained weight, and it was still like wasn't like enough of a motivator to be like, man, I got to do something. I got to do something. And then it's just like, nope, like when you keep seeing those numbers on that scale, like keep going up. There's just a certain point where I'm like, no, I gotta turn this around. So that's the mode I'm in. And now like that I've been following, doing the intermittent fasting the past couple of weeks, like I'm not even like, I'm so tuned in with it. Like, it's like I'm good, not even really like hungry. It's not really like much of a chore to do it. Especially I'm doing the 16 8-hour split, and I know some people are even more hardcore than that, so it's working, even with the festivities on Sunday with the Valentine's Day and stuff like that, still managed to drop a couple of pounds from the week before. So it's good, man. It's good.
Cool.
Ralphie, he's asking for the link for the page. I'll send it to you, bro. I'll send it to the messenger. So, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see everybody's progress in there, and hopefully, more people join in. Sometimes I think it's the contest, dude. You got to do it.
Yeah, I know. The contest is good. It's a good motivator. If I had a little more time, I keep saying I thought maybe we'd put one together, but it's people are in different places for themselves and things like that. So I think sometimes you shouldn't have to have the prize to be the motivator, right?
Yeah, man.
At least a monetary prize, right? And for anybody who listens, Brian loves gym photos, so you can post them and tag him in all of them because it's his favorite thing to
I
see
just
online.
invited Ralphie, and then while I'm here, unfollow group. There it is.
It's like
Problem solved.
Right.
I have to see it every day.
Yeah.
Just check in every once in a while.
Yeah.
Only if I'm forced to.
Oh, man. All right. Dominic, what's up, dude?
What's going on, guys?
Why do I feel like I haven't heard your voice yet tonight? You're like 26 minutes into the show. Well, not that quick.
You guys are talking. You're telling me you're awesome weekends. That's great.
Well, chime the fuck in. I want to hear you. What's up?
My weekend was okay. I had Valentine's weekend, so I had to go out, get the flowers, balloons, chocolates, all the good stuff that everybody's packs into ShopRites and whatever local convenience store you drive into to grab whatever you need to grab. So it was fun. Enjoyed the day with my wife.
Nice.
Watched Braveheart again, which was a great movie.
Nice.
Always a good watch. It's a long movie, but freedom always gets you.
That's Mel Gibson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
William
that
Wallace, right? William Wallace.
Came
William
on two
Wallace.
VHSs for that movie.
Yep.
2V. Yeah. Now it's just a couple of gigs on your phone,
Yeah, it was my niece's birthday as well this weekend. So we Saturday night we celebrated that, which was nice with the family. Had some good Portuguese food. My dad brought in some Portuguese food in Newark, which was always great. And we also were celebrating their anniversary. It was my parents' I think they're like 35th anniversary, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
they've been together for a while, and we were enjoying the time and just chilling, laughing, and drinking wine, doing all that good stuff.
Wait a second. I don't. Wait. What anniversary for your parents, Dom?
Their wedding anniversary.
Yeah. For how many years?
I think they're 35. I don't know. 35. 35. I think
That's
it is.
impressive.
35, 36. They got married young.
Congrats to them. That's a nice thing. So that's a nice weekend. Also, family time. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
But other than that, was it. No toy hunting. Kept it. Was too tired to run out and do whatever I needed, do in toys. They're so low. It's like so goddamn boring when you go into a toy store, like Walmart's and Targets. There's nothing on the shelves and it's empty, and it's just you don't want to see that, and it's very disappointing. So
he didn't want to be disappointed.
What am I going out for? Just to see nothing. So it's all hit and miss. There's no mass release of anything anymore. So it's just It's just you're never going to get a chance, and it's whatever the luck of the draw, whether you show up that day or that afternoon or that morning, and there's something of value on the peg. So
They decided to stock the shelves.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to one of those like neighborhood vintage toy stores when I went down to Chris's by his house. It was kind of cool. Saw some overpriced stuff for sure. Saw like old trains and like those old tin toys. Like I don't know if you guys used to watch that, like on the tin Toy Hunter show. Sometimes they'd find like those old metal, like clamshell type toys or whatever the hell. You wind them up and shit. The JD, you know that MAS Optimus Prime you're looking for?
Yeah.
They had one
Oh yeah.
for $1,000.
What the fuck?
Wait, that's that big giant one, right? That you have like that in the Megatron.
That was like $150 or something.
Yeah, it was.
$995. Yeah.
Trying to get a sucker to walk in that way.
That's ridiculous.
They fucking
Wow.
pick it up. I just don't feel like $1,000.
What the fuck?
Actually, Brink, next time you go there, grab it for me. I got you.
Yeah, right.
Nope.
Yeah, I'll just I'll
Was
wear
that
a
in
different
pesos?
hat and I have my mask on and I'll wear
Is that
a t-shirt
Yeah.
from another podcast and I'll
That's
go and steal it.
Yeah.
That's that
there
line.
you go.
Did they ever make the Soundwave for that line that they
No.
showed prototypes for? It never came out, did it?
Nope, never did.
It
They
never
only
came
did the
out.
Megatron. The Megatron and
And the Nemesis
the-
Prime, yeah.
The Nemesis Prime and the
They
Prime.
painted it black.
Yeah.
So is that not like available? Because I think that was like available for like the longest time. I know like every time I was checking the sites, it was always kind of like there. One of those things like buy this. I think they would even like discount it. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's been around for a while, but
Yeah.
it's been out of stock for about a year probably. I think
Oh,
out of
okay.
retail stock.
I didn't know that was that demanding.
I just had an idea for a display, and it was like, kind of.
If it's there,
Huh,
it's
I
there.
wonder if this thing's
Check it
out
out.
there still. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if you want a nice big
The-
chunky pot, like if it's
Okay,
that,
up.
Pretty sure the.
It's
pretty
Unicron
sure
that's doing
Megatron-
this. It's all Unicron.
Right.
and,
If you're
and
2
nine-
feet tall, it's $1,000.
Oh, that shit is crazy. What do you think about that? Because you guys like you seen those pictures circulating where you actually take off all the kibble and shit. Like we showed it last night also.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Like when
I
you
mean,
think
it helps it look a little better, but you just dismantled $250 worth of fucking
Yeah,
plastic
that's crazy. That's a little.
to make it look half decent.
It's a little crazy or very brave. I think that's a expensive item to
do that. Yeah.
do that too.
I mean, I wouldn't have the balls to do it, like unless I had like experience with that, or I was like a Tony Stark. I could just put the shit, but take it apart and put it back together, no problem.
I mean, how's it go? Like, for that money, you should have.
you have to do it.
Shouldn't have to do it.
Well, since it comes in planet mode, right? I mean, someone who's not very scrupulous could maybe do that. Put the shell back in the box. Can you return that thing to Hasbro? I don't know.
The insides are missing.
I don't know. That's how it came to me. It's like,
We've only seen the pictures of that shit from the front though, like put back together. Like maybe the back is hollow. Like 'cause, I mean, doesn't the body factor in? Like
No, the body factors into nothing as part of the shell. Yeah, watch a transformation video, dude. There's
Body in a
a
circle.
candy shell around the outside. Yeah.
It's a fucking giant fucking M&M.
It's a
With
fucking
right.
Hatchimal, okay? It's a Hatchimal. It is.
it is
It's
a
a fucking
Hatchimal.
Hatchimal, okay? It's
A
gonna hatch its way out.
See, but the pictures I didn't see the rings around it. You don't need the robot there for like to attach the rings around the globe.
Well, they didn't have it on the stand. I expect you need the robot part to be able to put it on the stand.
Mm.
But all the panels kind of like, I guess, go together. I don't know. Maybe he wadded up some newspaper and formed it around the ball or something like that. But yeah, but those orange rings, you need. I believe they do plug into his arms on the inside. So yeah, they kind of hold. I don't know. I gotta watch the video.
That's
Pretty
what I'm saying.
wild shit though.
You might need it. They'll say the Cadbury egg. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of crazy, especially, I mean, I'm not hating. I got the studio cell. I ordered that shit. I'm the type of guy that, it's an official product. That sort of means something to me. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm perfectly fine with the design of it. Like I know that it's not the best looking design with the shit on the back of the legs and of course the back, but it's not something that really bothers me as much as it seems to bother other people. But it's pretty striking, you know what I'm saying, that you could kind of do that you could just disassemble just a few of those pieces and then just put the fucking globe back together. Like the robot doesn't really factor in much. And even if it did, I'm sure like a third party company now seeing that will fill in the blanks on that.
Listen, Brian, you're the one, you called that, like when that thing was, when you were graphing it. I mean, you're the one to say that, hey, you're speculating on what's gonna drive it up even higher with the third party additions and modifications. I think you're right on for that. Actually, it's gonna prove true.
It'd be interesting to see what they come up with, for sure.
Yeah. See, and again, the old argument, you spent this much money, like, and now you got to put more money into the upgrade kits and stuff like that. So yeah.
I think, to me, upgrade kits are just part of the game. It's like,
that's just gonna say
it's another level to the hobby. To me, I don't know. I love upgrading shit. It's just fun.
I was peeping through one of the websites that have a ton of it, and I'm like, man, like it's crazy. Like it's tempting, but I'm like, shit, $20 for this, $25 for this. Like, do I really want to do that to just give this, my chug thing for this weapon, or just a little upgrade, like the RC upgrade for that Earthrise or whatever.
To change the backpack up.
It makes it look a little bit more like the Netflix,
fill in her thighs on in the back, all that stuff.
But then you look at it, Jose, and right, that hey, that is better. Like you just know, no one else will probably recognize or care, right? But that it's like got like better weapons or more accurate stuff. It's like when I was doing the classics line for Motu, I loved all the weapons packs that Mattel did. Where they repainted armors and shoulder pieces and weapons in different colors and stuff. And then you could kind of mix and match without having to paint or get crazy. And this is like before mythics were a thing. And like I just remember like when you would like rearrange some stuff and make it look a little more tune accurate or something, and put on the shelf, my wife would be like, okay, whatever makes you happy. I'm like, no, but you don't understand. I swapped this and I changed this, and this is the right color sword. Yeah. Like, especially like the Man-at-Arms, right? That was always a big thing because you had to get the weapons pack to get the 2000X weapon, and then you could change this head, right, JD, right? And then you could do this for the armor. And you had to buy like 3 figures and weapons to essentially assemble the perfect like 2000X looking Man-at-Arms. But once I put it together, I was like, okay, I felt like it was an accomplishment. She's like, it's the same orange and green guy that's been up there. I don't understand. I was like,
no, it's not.
Exactly, it's really not.
I'm gonna put this accomplishment right next to my high school diploma.
Right.
You are very equivalent. Man of Arms, high school diploma.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it too. Like, I guess it just depends, like, like how far you're willing to go on any particular thing. Like, like I remember the Devastator from Combiner Wars. He had all those. You had perfect fillers. You had that DNA doing a set, and then it's like, similar stuff. Because remember the whole like Prowl.
Buy them all. Buy them all.
Was sort of like the craze there, or maybe you like the way this one looked, but you like the other piece on this one. So yeah, it's like. If you want to go in like and to make the stuff look better, but I know some people just call it like turd polish and shit.
Turd polish. Turd
polish.
I mean that Devastator needed it for sure.
Yeah.
Turd polish.
But there was
little foot.
I think it was Unique Toys. They made a Metroplex upgrade kit for the the Titan Metroplex, like a
Yep.
different head and some
Yep.
weapons and stuff. And I remember,
Yep.
again, this is before I was in ROC stuff, picking that up and just thinking, again, how much cooler I thought it was with that kit attached to it. Just knowing that, it has all these little extra weapons and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, made me feel better.
Again, yeah, that the origin's a third party, right? Because that's how it all sort of started before all the original figures and stuff that were coming out. And apparently, I mean, if they keep making that stuff, like there was a ton of stuff on that website as far as upgrades for all this generations stuff, all this current stuff too. So it's like, man, if it's coming out, people are making it. There's got to be a market for it, Like,
well, dude, I mean, Brian, that picture you put up last night on ETR with the Unicron and like all of the mainline characters like posing in front of it, from the movie.
oh yeah,
Like that's a great looking collection right there. And then I actually had asked Dust today. I was like, "Hey, could you send me a picture of the Scourge and Cyclonus in front of the Zeta Unicron, which I know isn't quite as right scaled exactly." And he put that up on his Instagram, and it looked really good too, like that. So those mainline figures are a nice way for people to get that look if that's what you're looking for, I think.
yeah.
It's like,
Gary, this picture?
Yep, that picture.
good God, dude. Did you stay at his house with that thing in there? Or did
Yeah,
you just
I
visit
found
for the
it
day?
out before I went to bed. I was just like,
Jesus.
I was like, he was tucked in that corner. I was like, oh, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna try and go to sleep.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's the one.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool shot.
I mean, that's just,
Yep, and I got all those figures also like on my little little mini Blu-ray shelf, and they just look cool standing together, just with the small one. So like, look at that with the Unicron, the Grimlock, like it does look cool. That's the movie cast right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the money shot, And listen, again, to me, that's what I said. I know the waffles, people don't like it, the nachos or whatever, but when you see a shot like that, a professionally done shot,
yeah.
it looks good to me, man. That shit looks good. I don't
It's
mind.
good, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's big. It's gonna be, it's big.
Well, you could argue about the waffles, or if you're putting together the third-party version,
love
how many
waffles.
mixes and matches do you have to have? And then you always have that one character that you can't pose because it can't hold its arm up, or it's like it's not quite to scale. So I guess you got to sacrifice somewhere. But
Yeah,
I thought that looked pretty good.
that's great. As that shot looks, a lot of people I know like to use the Legends class figures for, those big Titan, figures, and that looks even better. It just
Yeah.
makes those things look like monsters, the way they
Yeah,
should.
I mean that picture that's all about perspective, right? How they aim the camera and do all that other stuff. But in person, it's like, yeah, maybe those legends might look a little bit different. It's always kind of interesting how things portray in pictures versus real life.
Yep,
I think
for good.
I think that picture's just the ones with the regular figures. I think that alone just gives it some more presence, because it feels like Unicron's in the background anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the cast in the front, and he's in the in the background. But at least you can see those main cast figures. You know what I'm saying? Like I think with Legends, it's going to just be lost, because everything's going to be the size of Wheelie right there. So it's like, I could see somebody doing a display, an action display, where like you have Unicron and all the Legends attacking them, or some type of action display going on for scale type wise. But if you're looking for something just to, an eye catcher, something that will display really nicely with your Unicron, something like this definitely gives it that oh shit, look at that, that's pretty cool kind of thing, because you can see all the characters.
You heard it here first, people. Let's see. All of these are in stores right now, except for Springer, and there's a new Ultra Magnus coming.
Yeah, but Springer's fairly cheap on Amazon.
On Amazon, it's like
Not
20
after this
27.
picture. He's not. He's like $8,500.
Dust, go get him. I know Dust said he needed that Springer. $27 on Amazon, bro.
Yeah, it's like it's fairly cheap in Amazon.
Before it's gone. And then watch them come out with a fucking Studio Series 86 version without the space mud. It'll be the same figure, just no space mud and shit, Maybe a slightly different deck would make it look maybe more animation like, You know.
Mhm.
So I was watching that too last night, the Five Faces of Darkness and shit, you know, and like
Yes.
watching that again, and like I noticed it's like they took some of those like movie beats and just like went like right back to it, like you know what I'm saying, like the shit with the quintessence, like before finding out about them, but just like the, you know, like Ultra Magnus got blown apart this time, like it was Springer, right? Springer got kind of torn apart. They put them back together. Uh, it's just a
No.
animation. Some of the animation in that was questionable too. Like, but still classic. Still a classic. Got to go back to it every now and again. Before we move on to like the other topic, I think Gary had a topic for us. We were bullshitting about phones real quick before he went live. So like he just got the he said just the latest Galaxy. I just recently ordered that and I haven't upgraded like my phone in about like 3 years or so. So like how are you guys when it comes to that? Are you guys the type to upgrade a lot?
Dude, I still have a 6.
Just do it a six? Galaxy S6?
No,
Wow,
an iPhone
dude.
6.
Oh, an iPhone 6.
Yeah,
You're an
yeah.
iPhone.
I'm old.
What number are they up to? Like how many years ago was
I
that?
don't
Like
know.
Right.
That's a long time
It
ago.
hit to
It's
like 12 now.
2 years.
Like, yeah, 11, 12, I think. I know they're past 10. So
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
I think I got like a 6S or something like that. I don't know.
I don't
Which-
upgrade very often myself, Jose.
Me neither.
I have
Yeah.
I have they're calling it the iPhone SE, I guess, which is the same size as an old 5. I like this size. I'm good with this size. I don't like phones bigger than this. Like, cause then I struggle using one hand to use this phone. Like, I don't want to have to use 2 hands to use my phone. You know? I don't know. It's and what I like about this one is it doesn't have that number. It's not an iPhone 6
Yeah.
or an 8 or whatever. So now it's like, then I don't
it's
feel
a
guilty. Be
SE.
like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah. It's like, I don't know how old it is anymore. It's like, I don't know how old I am anymore. You know, I stopped counting 4 years ago.
Is that supposed to be like a budget iPhone then? Like sort of like if it
Yeah,
doesn't have a
definitely.
number attached to it?
Well, it's like the size of the 5, but the power of the 8.
Brian has a burner phone. It's like he can like throw that phone anywhere.
Uh-huh.
That's it. I compromise.
He makes a call and he cracks it in half.
On to the next one.
Right.
That's interesting. Well, I'm sure like it probably like some of the features to scale back, but probably makes it a lot cheaper. So you don't have to worry about paying it off, like paying your phone.
That's true. I mean, there's only one camera lens on it. I mean, these things aren't cheap.
Nope.
I mean, I think it was like $400-something bucks. You know.
Yeah, but that's still lower end though. That's nothing. That's like nothing compared to these.
Still,
Like,
$400
new
what I
ones-
spent on this laptop last year. I could do all
New
kinds
one-
of things with that, but I
The
can't.
ones are
do
like
now
it.
you're-
1,200, like 1,000,
Yeah,
1,500.
you're
The
paying
fucking
$1,000
S21
for
Ultra I
it.
just
Oh, no.
ordered was fucking $1,200, even though I got it discounted. I didn't pay that fucking much money.
Thank God.
Like,
Thank God.
I got every
Where they take
discount I
the
could on
$2
that,
off of it?
but it was still
Yeah.
pretty damn expensive. You know?
It is, yeah.
Like-
I got the 21 plus. I didn't get the ultra,
Okay.
but yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's why I put it off. But then like my wife, pretty much her phone was pretty much totaled in terms of usage and physical condition. So I'm like, well, if you're replacing one, you might as well just replace them both. You know, on the plan. So
And that's usually
Logic.
like, you do get it, right? Usually like it's a buy one get one deal you could get through the phone company. I know a lot of them. Like,
yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's all it is hokey though. But I figure it should be good for at least a couple years now. Again, hopefully.
It's all
Yeah.
hokey.
Mhm.
And this one still
Well-
has a button at the bottom. You can't. See
Oh
it.
yeah.
But I like there it is. I like having my button, man.
Mhm.
Like I don't. How do you work a phone with no button? I don't
Swipe up.
understand.
You just use
Yeah.
the screen.
Yeah.
The screen is the
Mine
button.
doesn't have a button.
But I've had phones lock up before where you gotta hit both buttons at the same time and hold it and stuff. Like if you don't have a button to unlock your locked up
You sound
phone,
like, you sound
Doesn't
like
make
a
any
somewhat
damn sense.
80-year-old. I need my button.
It's still
Well,
the button. You still
but still,
where
I
the
don't- and I
button
don't-
would
I
have been. You still
I
push
don't.
it.
I don't have my headphone jack anymore.
Oh,
I have a
dude,
headphone
that's
jack actually on my phone.
And I
That's-
heard Droids took it away too because Ace
that's
doesn't
some
have it no more.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I don't like about this latest model. Like as nice as it looks and all the specs and everything, like no micro SD slot. and no headphone jack. So like you're basically forced into Bluetooth, you know what I'm saying? Which is like you're just pushing you like into the future. But I understand like maybe some people still like to be wired every now and again. Like sometimes I forget to charge my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like now I can't listen to music or a podcast or whatever like while I'm on my way to work because I forgot to charge up. So that's a con right there, I guess. When you think about it. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that yet. But I'm definitely not happy about the expandable storage thing because then you're forced to the 128, the 256, and I think they have a 512 model for the Ultra also, but that's like a special order. Like it's sold out. You can't get it. So yeah. I used to be that type, to upgrade every couple of years, right? Because the phone company, it used to be like you just, sign another 2-year contract and the phone is almost like essentially free. And now they basically like nix the 2-year thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, cancel whatever you want, but you're going to pay the full price for your phone. They don't subsidize it. They don't subsidize it anymore. So you wind up paying a hell of a lot more like in the long run. Because, I mean, if you're happy with your cell service, are you going to leave the company? Like, no. So you would have been there anyway, no? Like, even if you sign a contract,
Yeah, that's the other thing. Right, that's what you're just saying, right? They used to subsidize the phone by signing up for another year. Yeah, they fucking took that away. I used to love doing that.
Yeah. I had no problem.
I'm not going anywhere.
Exactly. Like the service is fine. I'm happy with it. Like it costs whatever the monthly cost is fine. Like give me the new phone. Every 2 years or whatever it was. Every 2 years you got a new phone. But let me see. Chat squad, how are you guys? Like I know there's got to be people that are like there's like a doctor at the job. Like he upgrades like every year. Like he always got to have like the latest iPhone and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he's a doctor. He can afford it. That's a difference here.
That's true. I guess I'm saying.
And I'm sure if I didn't collect toys, I could probably afford it too.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when if you're trading in like the model just like the year before, you get a pretty significant discount like on the new one. Like like if like Samsung even like shit, they gave me $250 back for my S8, and that thing is 4 years old at this point, maybe older.
What are they gonna give me for my i6?
Yeah, you'll get $99.
A coupon.
Coupon.
For Starbucks.
You get a fucking rebate.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
I got not even a coffee. I got a scone.
They might give you a charger for it, Oh, and that's another thing, right? No charger, Gary, right? Did your shit come with a charger? No, right?
No. Here's the thing. It doesn't come with it. The block. It's ridiculous. So it has a cord, but if you want to plug in like the old-fashioned way, you got to buy the block separately to go with it. And they freaking, and you guys know me well enough why this bothers me. They couldn't even make it the same color. So, like, the cord for this S21 is black, and the block is white. You know what I mean? The little power block thing. Drives me freaking crazy. Drives me nuts.
Gary wants everything pink. Okay?
I like it all. Exactly. Yes, it all matches up.
It needs to match up.
No black and white cookies for fucking Gary. Make it all black or make it all white. That's it.
that makes me
half shit.
that leads me to believe like that like if you gave Gary a bowl of M&Ms, they all have to be the same color. Is that true?
No, that's not the case. I would not. Yeah. But it's like it's like it's like you bought you package it with one way.
You got to coordinate.
Right.
You got to have a matching cord, matching. Coordinate.
Look, he's right about that. They got to be pointing in the same direction. It's like
What about the cupboard? Does it do all the labels and the canned food got to be facing the front and shit?
Yes.
Sleeping with the enemy.
Why not?
Remember that?
It's true.
Yes.
Why not make it more enjoyable when you open that cupboard or open the refrigerator and you see everything facing out at you correctly?
What do you want?
All right. No, listen.
Dance and sing for you?
So let's talk about a couple of relationship things here too, because
what?
Anyone who's been with me to a show knows what my cooler looks like, right? you guys have all seen like my giant lunch cooler, and when I
Yes.
bring it to,
Mhm.
so all those containers that go in there. It's like you have one, Jose, right? Dom, you have one too, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I use it.
So the Isolator Fitness, all these different size food prep containers, they have plastic lids and it has like the brand on it. So my point being is when you stack those, you can either put the labels on those lids all in the same way, or you can, flip it up, flip it down, flip it up, flip it down. And there's really only one way to do it, which is to align them all the right way. So it's all lined up. And my wife will never bother. She'll just throw them in a pot, in a stack. I'm like, I got to undo it and fix it. It's like,
You're the only one in it 99% of the time, correct?
Okay, guys. Okay, realm assignment.
yes.
Take a photo of your Tupperware cabinet.
Right.
I want to see the organization. I will drive Gary wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like if you got to stack them anyway, right? So you might as well
Have a heart
just
attack looking at ours.
stack it organize it, flip them the right way. So, because they're clear lids, so when you hold it up, you can see them all, right? It's like.
Oh man,
Anyway.
that's sleeping with the enemy, yo.
Yeah,
That's sleeping with the enemy.
Like Dom, listen, you trying to tell me that all your Marvel Legends and Black Series in storage,
Yes, they're all over the place, Gary.
aren't organized
From
like in the same
singling,
row? No, I'm just saying
different
in the box.
boxes.
You don't put them.
I have
in
boxes. I have boxes of Marvel Legends labeled
All
Black
lined
Series
up.
just to fuck me up.
It's like
Throw me a
it's
curveball.
calming. It's calming. It's like
So Jose, you trade your phones in?
If it's
Got a
worth
deck
it,
of cards.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
usually sometimes
Is this
I'm
your
just like,
phone?
you know what, I'm
Is this
just
your
gonna
phone?
keep the phone. You know what I'm saying? Just in case, like, you keep it as a backup in case anything happens to the new one. Even though, of course, with insurance you get a replacement. But if it's worth it, I'll trade in. But so I traded in to get this new phone. Samsung gave me $250, so I was like, okay, I'll trade in the S8. But at T-Mobile, we were trying to get the new, the regular S21 for Jessie, and she was going to trade in. She got the S9 Plus. You know what I'm saying? And Samsung on their website offers $350 for that phone, more than they gave me for mine. And T-Mobile was trying to say they'll give her fucking like $90 for the trade, and I was like, fuck no. I was like, I'll sell that shit for you fucking online for more money. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, keep that shit. I was like, let's just pay for the phone. I was like, don't even trade that shit in because it's not worth it. Like,
Yeah, you
And,
can get
uh,
money for it.
This one here, the GPS antenna stopped working in it. So like, I couldn't use the maps program. So, and it did. I was
Turn
like,
left.
this thing's fucking useless. But everything else worked on it, and like the Wi-Fi would drop out from time to time. But and then this one here, like, started
Like
smoking.
Old girlfriend.
But this one still kind of works. I like having this as like a backup device. These are cool devices to have. I mean, if you're not just using it as a phone, you go watch the internet on them and stuff. Good.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, even though you don't have the cellular service, you can still use them for other things. So,
Yeah.
I mean, some of those older phones, I'm sure you probably, if you go back and turn them on, they probably perform like shit compared to like what you used to now. But yeah, like even this, like I feel bad, like I like trading this in because it's still a good phone. Like it has, even being 4 years old, it's in immaculate condition. You know what I'm saying? Like. So it's like, fuck, like I don't really want to give it up, but the newer one is just gonna be like, okay, I'll just have this for the next 4 years, and trade it in for the Galaxy S fucking 30 or whatever it'll
right,
be,
whatever.
you know,
Right.
in 3 or 4 years.
I could see Brian like don't have enough sandbags or bean bags for like cornhole, and then all of a sudden he brings out his phones and says, "Hey, here, I got some of these. Let's use these.
Some of these.
Let's throw those."
That's
Dude, that's a lot of backup cell phones, dude.
Well, like I
Let
said,
it go.
one doesn't really
Let it
work.
go.
The other one's a good. I mean, it's good if you need to take like a picture of a picture, kind of thing. Yeah.
Dude, make some money off them shits, bro. They got like a thing I think called Let It Go or whatever, or just like even like local online sales in the Facebook group. Somebody will buy that shit for fucking $50. You know what I'm saying?
Brian,
The
that's
phones
smart.
can be erased good enough.
Yeah.
DVD
Factory
games,
reset.
yeah.
Factory reset it.
That's an
Factory
upgrade
reset
kit there, Brian. That's an upgrade kit. That's a DNA upgrade
it.
kit
Exactly, man.
you got
Exactly.
there.
You could send that shit first class. No, be like, yo, no charger. You know, everybody got a fucking charger. You know, these things are universal. You know, so, boom. You know, so it's good stuff. That S21 Ultra 2 is S Pen compatible. Even though I don't use the S Pen for shit. Like this computer I'm using now, like has the S Pen. Sometimes, like I mean, again, I can't. You know, I'm not artistic. You know, like JD or anything like that. But sometimes I'll just try to do my own little bullshit, and it kind of like entertains me. And I'm like, I just wish I could draw better. And then I erase it all and fucking rip the shit off.
Keep doing it.
You know.
No, I thought you're supposed to use that to make memes and shit. Put people's faces on other people's faces.
I guess you could do that too. I gotta explore it, dude. You know, it would be nice. Like you know, I would use it. I'm like, okay, to draw, and it's kind of nice because it almost like when you swipe the screen, it almost makes it feel like a pencil, and you hear like the scratch, like if you were using like a pencil. So this kind of gives you that ambiance, you know. But I'm just like I'm
Stuck in the
I
matrix, my friend. You're stuck in the matrix.
I suck. Like I don't use the S Pen to be like to use it like as a pointer, like or anything to hit, you know, things, or just don't use it for that. So so much untapped potential with this, you know. So all right, so I just wanted to see how you guys were, you know, when it came to the phones or things like that. You know, I was a lot more into the switch ups like years ago than I am now. Now I'm just like, if it works, I'm good. I ain't paying $1,000 every year for a phone.
Mm-mm.
It's just a little crazy. So, Gary, why don't you get into that topic? Something about like how like media influences collecting.
So I'd be curious, you know, what you guys think and what the chat thinks about this. So my question is, and I'll share what I've been doing the last couple of weeks with everybody, but really as adults, right? How does some type of media tie-in influence your collecting interests? So, you know, if there's a current, you know, movie line or, you know, television series that you're into and there's merchandise that goes with it, does that affect you one way or the other? Or, you know, maybe revisiting an old series or, you know, movie line or genre of something, you know, re-sparks interest and then impacts what you go hunt for, maybe for collecting, right? So I'll just tell you, you know, for me, for whatever reason, this might paint me in a weird light now that I say it out loud.
You
But
do that enough yourself.
I figure. Thanks, JD. The last couple of weeks, I've been watching like a bunch of just like older, you know, kind of 80s, you know, action fantasy movies, right? So I went back and watched the first Conan, right, with Arnold from 1982. So Conan the Barbarian. Then I watched like Conan the Destroyer, right, from 2 years later. I watched the first Beastmaster, and then that led me to like watching, you know, the lower tier movies from those you know, genres and stuff. But then I found myself looking at the, you know, the Super 7 Conan figures, right? Yeah, I wanted the Mezco, you know, Conan, originally from the comics, but then, you know, Super 7, which, you know, it's not my favorite company, but they did the comic style Conan for a little while, right? But then you go back and look at some of the O2 classics that they did that were, you know, homaging some of those things. Yeah, see, exactly. So 2000X, you know, Motu figure, absolutely, right? Watching that, it's a really good storyline for that.
Yeah, that's like one
right.
of my favorite cartoons.
But, you know, every time I rewatch Avatar the Airbender, I want like good Avatar toys, not the Diamond Select stuff that's kind of crummy, you know, not the stuff they've released at retail. I'd like them done well. Yeah, so that's just my question to you guys, is how much does some type of media tie-in impact your, you know, interest as an adult?
Mm-hmm. Well, the chat squad's definitely chiming in, like you said,
Yeah.
just with Chuck, like, you know, going back, and that's interesting too, because like you go back to an older series, like let's say you just discover it for the first time, or even maybe, you know, you watched it back in the day, and, you know, sometimes you could watch it again and it catches like your interest. For something like that, it kind of sucks, because imagine, like, I'm sure there was probably some figures or whatever that came out, but they probably might be hard to get at the time. Right now, it's like 20 years later. You know, thank God for eBay, like, and sites like that.
Right.
Cody in the chat saying he says he doesn't collect the line unless there's a media tied to it. and there are also pieces of media that I want to own stuff of because of my enjoyment of it. So that's interesting too. So that's basically apparently he's saying he's only collecting something almost like if it's a known franchise, right? Like if there's a comic book or a movie or whatever else that might be attached to it, which is interesting because, like, let's say like a line like the Astrobots, right? Like, it's a robot,
Right,
like
yeah.
it's superposable, but
it's a
there's
good
no
example.
real media, like, right, like a tie to that. So maybe that's something that won't interest them, even though the figures are like kind of cool, you know. So as for myself, man, I was definitely more like that back in the day. Not so much anymore because I'm just, collecting all this generation stuff. And, thankfully, you got the Netflix show, which I guess could be considered like media for this. But it's not that media that's driving me to collect the figures. It's just, being a Transformers fan, I collect the figures. But of course, getting into that back in the day as a kid was that driving force, for even being into it to this day. And of course, like I always say, I always like to say it's catching that fever, because you might watch a
Right.
show or a movie and you like it and you get really into it, and then you do see yourself hunting for an action figure, or seeing what kind of stuff you could buy that's related to that particular property. I just don't do that like nowadays anymore, but I remember a time where, yeah, like I would just be like all in, what I'm saying, if I enjoyed a particular product. So I could definitely, there's definitely something to be tied to that, because I guess it was back in the day with the cartoons, it wasn't really allowed to be able to kind of push like like merchandise like that, like until like the 80s or whatever, which is what gave us like this whole boom of
Right.
Transformers, GI Joe, and stuff like that. So it shows you what a big part media is into making us want to kind of collect these things. For me, not so much anymore nowadays, but it definitely back in the day, and even now I'm still tempted. I'm just, I guess, the smarter collector, where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hold off on this. Oh yeah, I'll pick this up. It just depends on the level of enjoyment, I guess. Yeah. Anybody else?
I can't answer as an adult. So, as my child, my inner child, I don't necessarily need a media. I mean, if you look at Mythic Legions, I don't necessarily need any sort of media tie-in. You know what I mean? We really enjoy the Astrobots, and it was, I saw somewhere in here like, how would you know of toys otherwise? ETR. No,
Watch
but
the toy shows.
huh?
Yeah, just watch the toy shows.
Yeah, watching toy shows. But yeah, I mean, most of everything that I think any collector would collect, it has some sort of media tie-in. I mean, there are things out there I wish were made. Like now that we're all tied into the, the Expanse. You know what I mean? Some action figures would be pretty cool for that, but
Yeah.
that's probably not going to come. You know what I mean? And like, like Gary said, it was like there are figures for some properties out there that I wouldn't collect just because I know they're not the best quality and they're not made by the, a company that I would like them to be made by. So.
And I think the media definitely helps you like identify or like the character that represents the toy, kind of thing.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
for instance, this Grief Karga from Mandalorian. This figure looks like trash, but I like the character. It kind of makes me this reason why I still want to pick it up. I mean, the face is dumb, but but JD, you mentioned the Expanse stuff. Like, I collect some things for the actual media, like the Transformers, of course, and the MCU stuff that I get, and of course Star Wars. But that Expanse, man. Like, I'm not heavy into
That's
like
true.
Marvel comics and things like that. But like I'll pick up a cool Marvel Legend figure every once in a while, and when it comes to that Expanse, like, a friend of ours is making a diorama set, which I think you have like 3 hours left today if you still want to go get one. over at Crashbox Customs, but it's
Oh
like
shit.
I'm picking up stuff, like I'm picking up figures. I was like, this person's gonna look good on that display, kind of thing. And I think Grief would look good hanging out in the complex in some
Yeah.
corridors and airlocks and whatnot. But
That's
yeah,
a good point, though, Brian, because I think for me personally, like I know you guys just got to go to the show, a couple weeks or 2 weekends ago, but having not had a chance to do that since like November of 2019, that used to be a fun part for me because you would find just something cool that kind of stood out to you, at a toy show or a convention of sorts, and so without having that, maybe it's the media that's kind of sparking interest, and then giving me something to go search for after the fact, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, I don't know. I'm the kind of person that, like, if I enjoy something, I always like having some sort of representation of it. You know what I mean? I guess that's kind of a fault in some ways. You know what I mean? Like, I like Volkswagens, so I have a Lego VW bus. You know what I mean? Like, Star Wars, I get a ton of fucking Star Wars shit. There's some off the wall stuff in there, like Dune and They Live and BioShock and your classic monsters and then there's all your 80s classic stuff. There's just, I don't know. I'm just that kind of person that, like, I like having a little bit of everything. And
Nice,
lots of it has most of it has some sort of media tied to it.
That is the thing, is like, I think for the vast majority of the stuff that we collect, there is some sort of media out there. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think it's interesting, like usually, like maybe when the idea is like an original, like maybe it comes in action figure form first and then maybe media spawns from that, like I don't know if there's really like any examples like I could think of, but the original stuff, like for me, again, it's the media, like for something to have media, like it's not like a deal breaker for me. Like, again, like I like what I like. If something looks cool, you know what I'm saying, like I'll be into it, it's just basically, being plugged into those avenues where
yeah.
you would get to know about any like set piece of figure, right?
Well, so I'll give another example again as I kind of went into that rabbit hole, those type of movies, right, between Amazon Prime and HBO Plus. So you watch this and then you look at suddenly, hey, what about these, right? And you just kind of go in sequence. I rewatched the '87 Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh yeah.
It's right, which we all know is like nostalgia or not, it's so bad. But
So bad it's good.
then I went and searched out that William Stout, the artist rendition of that Galactic He-Man, which is sort of like Dolph Lundgren, but not quite, right? Because it's not supposed to be him as a figure, but it's close. But in my brain, I'm like the enabler, right? And rationalizing it, I'm like, well, am I ever going to get, a Dolph Lundgren He-Man? No, this is probably as close as it's going to be, right? I don't know. So it just kind of starts getting you thinking, I guess I get easily influenced sometimes as I get re-excited about stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, that's another thing. Like how often does that happen to you? Like when you do get into it, like how likely are you to like search out the stuff? Like, is it something like for you guys that you feel like, man, I need to get something, like I need to get a figure of this because like you're digging it so much, or is it just like if it comes across, if it comes across your way, then it's like, all right, I'll pick it up,
Well, I'll just say, I'll let you guys talk. For me, sometimes that's where watching like toy reviews of all different people will sometimes help satiate that desire, and like seeing a review of a few different perspectives from people, and I'll be like, I'm good just watching that up close. I don't really need that. What I'm trying to find is, I say this right, as I'm trying to be a bit more selective. I'll dwell on it in my head, and if I'm still, I know, right? If I'm still like thinking about it, right, maybe a week or two in, then I'm like, maybe I should go, purchase that now, right, and look to buy one versus just if it's fleeting, and it goes away. So that's one helpful way.
Here, Gary, guess what? I have good news for you. You can buy this figure and make a He-Man out of it.
Put some armor on him and try to
There
switch
you
it up.
go.
Who makes that one? Who is it? Like who made
NECA.
that?
NECA.
Oh,
NECA.
grief.
Well, didn't I could have sworn, I don't know if it was Chuck or somebody else that I think it was ZoloCon last year, and it had to be because short term memory. Like but did they make I think, or maybe it might have even been Jason Lowry, but didn't they make like a movie version of that He-Man from that Lundgren movie or no?
I
feel
mean, I
like maybe
thought they did.
I don't know if
they-
you mean like in the 80s.
Yeah, like of course, like it
No,
doesn't
I think-
look like him, like
Yeah,
but
no, I think they
it's a
did.
version, that
They
version.
they did a couple characters in the 80s, I think, right? Because they did a Blade from that movie, right? And the Gwildor, but there were some they didn't have the rights to, so it was kind of weird. So I don't know if they did or not for the He-Man from the movie. They never did the Skeletor. I know that in the 80s line from that movie.
Oh man,
Because the line was pretty much dead by then. You got to remember that was 87. And that
no. I
movie
mean, currently, isn't one of these companies that were doing those?
yeah,
He-Man
that's it.
remakes?
That's right.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
Brian's
it?
got that's the Super 7, but it's based off of the artist's work for the characters, not actually Dolph Lundgren himself. It's kind of like borderline. So it kind of looks like him, but it's not directly modeled after him. So it's one of those things. If you look at it and squint, you're like you can see it.
Yeah, just the look, but of course not the likeness. And for some reason, like Brian just showed that picture right there, and in my head, it was looking better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one
it's the same thing.
like,
But see, what's cool? Again, just watching reviews on that, right? So that's Super 7, right? Who did it? And they're using the Four Horsemen bucks for a lot of their stuff. But that particular figure is actually taller than all the He-Man characters because the lower body is actually different to be more proportionate to Dolph's like real life measurements from the movie. So like the legs are actually they're taller. He's taller than if you put him up against any of the other figures they've done.
That's so he can tower over and be like,
exactly. Yeah, he's like,
I must break you.
Yeah, so you said came out last year, and they did the He-Man, Skeletor, God Skeletor, and that was the God Skeletor with the gold armor, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they did a Karg, which was they had done in the classics line, but this was again based on the art, and more movie-like than the one that Mattel had released. But yeah, anyway, so maybe why am I searching all these like bodybuilder big thing? I don't know, maybe it's my own motivation. I should take this to the ROC wellness group, right? I was like, where do you find motivation? I like to buy action figures that are genetically unlikely in proportions and use that for motivation.
I think that Gary has the biggest child inside of him that he's afraid to let out.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. You're always fighting yourself, like, I can do without it. I can sell this. You just need to let that kid out.
I think you're right.
Stop being an adult.
I think I need
This
to
adult
not
thing
be.
is overrated.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I feel like there's some form of restraint sometimes. You know what I mean? That affects the decision.
Don't listen to that guy. Stop listening.
No, it's a good thing. You have to have restraint sometimes.
JD just wants me to order that Thunder Tank, so then I'm all in.
I mean, maybe
I haven't done yet, but I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to.
Well, has anybody done it recently? Like watch something and then place their order for the related media? Like, what's the latest thing that you think you could done that with? I mean, I guess for me, it's the Siege, you could say, right? We just got the Earthrise cartoon. Again, it's not the reason I ordered them, but that's for me the closest thing I could say.
I've been rewatching Rebels, and I've been opening up the figures as I.
Oh, nice.
And I feel like I'm getting toward the end. I'm like, all right, I better open these up and enjoy them right now before I only have like one episode left to watch them or something like that. But I can't find the damn chopper, so I ended up buying one this week. I was like, I know I had a few of them because I was handing them out to people. I was like, you need one? Okay, yeah. But I guess I don't know. I can't find the one to save for myself. Fortunately, it's still unavailable for retail because it just got re-released this past year. So, but yeah,
Oh,
so
nice.
I got my whole crew except for him. But you know what? All the Rebel figures that came out recently, they're like, now that I'm in the end of the Rebels that I'm watching, they've all changed their uniforms up. So the ones I have are like from the first season. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's not right. I kind of.
I think that's what
the later ones.
they could have sold more of those figures. I think. I mean, not that they're not sold out or anything, but like
Right.
they could have sold more of those figures if maybe they did all the new tech, the face tech with different outfits. You know what I mean? Like season 3 or season 4 even.
Poor
would've
Chuck's
been
been enabled. You see that?
Yep.
He's going deep into the classics. Thank God for constructs. That's all I gotta say.
Night of Ren says he bought a Black Series Bo Katan recently. He did a Mando rewatch. I mean, sometimes that's what it is. You're just watching it and you go searching, like, it happens.
Well, I think so. One of the things that's really cool, though, right? So you mentioned the Transformers thing, right, Jose?
Yeah.
So there's a series that if you watch, you can go get stuff, right? Toys and figures that really look like they do the way that's animated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many options now that you can source stuff out that you couldn't always do in the past. So I think that's the other part that's kind of empowering about it, is that you can typically find something that would work for that, right? If there weren't those other characters like that from Super 7 for Conan, right, I could always go back to Mythic Legions and kind of kit bash and look at stuff that way, right? Or the Motu Classics and stuff. So I think that's the part that's pretty cool these days, is that there's so many things that you can search out.
Yeah. And it's true, very rare in those instances where there might be something that you like that doesn't have media like attached to it. You could usually find an action figure somewhere of something, at the very least.
Did you guys ever hear of a line called Arco from the 80s? They were like bendy fantasy figures. Do you have one, Brian? Like, it's the same company, right?
Arco.
These little things?
Not those.
Okay.
It was
But
called
these-
Arco.
Arco does make these, though.
It may have been, I was gonna say they were. It's called Arco: The Other World, and they were like little, like 3 3/4 scale, but they were like those bendable with the wires in their arms and legs. But they were fantasy, so they had like a dragon and this like flying bird. Their accessories all glowed in the dark, but they were like little bendy figures. They were actually kind of cheap back in the day, but they had a castle. Hold on, I can't screen share. I'm not good at that, but.
I got
but
it.
freaking shout out to EE Prime, put me in a different group. There you go.
The other world.
Right. He invited me to this other group, and so I saw someone's collection of these things, and I had a bunch of these as a kid also because they were relatively inexpensive. But yeah, that castle was freaking so fun. It was super cool. But that was just another one. He put me in this like Motu type classics, Facebook group. That was really neat to just see some different style collections that wasn't all robot stuff. And that kind of got me looking for those again, just to see. It's kind of pretty cool to see with that. So.
Yeah, I have some of those the little guys.
Yeah, the orange and purple ones.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have some of those still.
I forget what they were called. Those like the good ones and the evil ones. They had little clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, they were just real basic, the old school rubber with the metal little skeleton and posing and very 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 Dungeons and Dragons ish, in a bit more of a cartoony way.
No points of articulation.
Yep, just bendy. But all their accessories were like glow in the dark.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really recall that
There's a
stuff.
few rare ones. Yeah, it wasn't like, but there was no cartoon. They had little mini comics, I think, came with them that kind of gave you a little bit of backstory about the good guys and bad guys and stuff.
Yeah, I am not familiar with this.
Yeah, they're just, you'll find them sometimes loose, but because they're just like rubber, the nature of the materials just doesn't hold up when they're loose.
Ew.
Yeah.
$1.97.
I know, right? See, and look at back in the day, right? So what did that buy you? That would buy you like maybe like a Star Wars figure, same price, but you got 3 characters with weapons and stuff here for that. So it was kind of the trying to be cheaper.
A little bit more value.
Yeah.
More bang for your buck, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yo, look, it's Dolph Lundgren and He-Man.
Yeah,
Right
that's what I'm saying.
It's right there.
Then it comes back to it.
Man, I saw that in the theaters 3 times in a row, yo. I can't believe my mom didn't fucking drag me out of the theater. Like, she actually let me watch it 3 times in a row. It's so crazy.
Different languages too.
That's cool stuff. That's cool stuff. Dom, what about you? I haven't heard you chime in. Get off Call of Duty, bro. Chime in.
No, I'm not playing Call of Duty.
I think he
I
fell
think-
asleep.
I think-
He's like, what's
Nah.
the topic again? What's the topic?
Right.
No, I think media that's how it's done. Like, I think most of our collecting is sparked from media. There is one-off things that we collect that, like JD said, like Mythic Legions. But then also, like, in its sense, Mythic Legions just come from certain other media that we like the Dungeons and Dragons and,
The inspiration.
Gladiators, like, all vampires and stuff like that. So they play off that stuff. But like, I think media in its sense can also, gear what's popular, what's not. Like, right now, like, Marvel is kind of like, cold right now, and Star Wars is hot, and obviously it's going to flip back around eventually when like Marvel starts putting out most of their streaming shows and movies.
WandaVision's
Yeah,
he ended up right now.
Yeah, so people are going to go back to Marvel, and then Marvel's going to be hot, and people are going to collect, and it's just like, even too, like, it's funny because you'll see a character that's no longer popular, or nobody cares 2 shits about it, and then all of a sudden he makes a cameo, and now all of a sudden everybody's buying Luke, Jedi Luke. So I want Jedi Luke, and nobody cared too much about him before the appearance or anything like that. So it's media definitely drives that, spikes that interest in any type of collecting. So
Yeah.
I collect pretty much anything, I think when Pacific Rim came out, I know we all dabbled in that little rabbit hole, and when I saw that movie, I was like interested in definitely getting some of the toys that came out with it at the time. I think it was it NECA? NECA was doing it, right, in the beginning.
NECA made them in the beginning. Yeah,
in the beginning. So it's and obviously they went with another toy manufacturer when they did the second movie. Yeah, Bandai. So, but it's one of those toy lines that it's going to be looked upon when that movie has become somewhat of folklore, and everybody's enjoying it and watching it, like Fifth Element and some of those other older movies that we love, but you tend not to, it's no major, Star Wars or Marvel, any like superhero movies that we watch these days. But it'd be interesting.
Some toys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like anything else, I think our media just basically treats it that such, like, we gotta have a fucking TV show, we have to have a fucking book, we gotta have we gotta make people interested in this character. What is this character? Oh, it's you can't pitch it like Seinfeld. It's just a show. It's just a show about nothing. But it's it's kind of has to have all that bells and whistles to sell and make investors somewhat interested in having a long game than a short game. So
yeah, and it's crazy, right? Because like again, just to loop it back to like the Transformers thing, I was watching the Toys That Made Us and stuff, and in Japan, like they just put this stuff out. They're just stuff to sell, right? And these no media attached to this stuff. They're just putting out these toys that transform into robots, and they're like, well, and then they're talking about like, well, how are we going to sell it here? And then that's when they went to Marvel to create the story and stuff like that. And it just shows you like, yeah, that's just the way it is here. And and it is a big driving force for a lot of the things that we're into like nowadays. But I'm glad that it just doesn't have to be just that. Like you don't have to be into something just because there's media like attached to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's just in modern times, just with the internet, and we're just we have access to all these sites. We already know all the import shops now. You know what I'm saying? Like where we can just easily browse and something will catch your eye that you just have no clue about, but that you might think it's cool and you might actually buy it. I know I've done that. So
I still see it like when you go into toy stores, like Walmart section. I see more in the younger, a younger age group, like the 4 to 6 age group, where there's toys out there that has no media, but it's just it's slime or monsters or this it has a special or gimmick that it does, or whether it comes in a canister it's a surprise figure. There's 6 of them. Who are you going to get? Type of thing.
yeah.
That type of stuff. Those types of toys have no media to it. But I think from a more younger perspective that works. But as you get older, I think companies understand that there's got to be some type of media to keep your interest.
Yeah.
So.
Makes sense. So, all right. Well, good discussion, guys. That was cool. I don't know if anybody else has anything to add to that, but
Yeah, I was trying to think if there's anything else recently that I was getting that just looked cool, but I can't really think of anything.
Like, would you collect turtles if there was no media of turtles? Would you just collect these turtles and these characters that have no background and you just saw them on a shelf and they just look cool? Or, would you be interested in, it's just be weird to see toys like that and just not have any type of media for them.
As a kid, I don't know if I would bite, but
Yeah.
in today's world, like,
oh yeah, as an adult,
yeah, like
collecting cool
all
toys.
of a sudden, like the Four
Yeah,
Horsemen, just like, yeah, here's some Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles. Like, what the hell? Sure. All right,
So-
check this out.
So that's kind of funny. Go ahead.
Sorry, JD, but I think you're going where I'm going. But they're doing that other line, right, JD? They're doing that space line. They're doing that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have new figures other than Mythic Legions in the space kind of realm, and
Yeah.
and we're gonna be obviously we're gonna as an adult we're gonna bite into it and just because of the action figures state of it, there's an action figure I can fool around with it, customize it, paint it up, do whatever I want to do with it. But yeah, like a kid, I don't think they're gonna bite onto it as much unless it obviously if it has the space Odyssey type feel to it and you getting that from watching old space movies and stuff like that. Yeah, you'll buy some of those figures, but I don't know. JD,
So,
I'm sorry to interrupt, JD.
No, that's okay. No worries. My idea was going a different way.
Okay.
So the funny thing is you say that would you still be interested if there wasn't media tied to Ninja Turtles or whatever it was? So it just struck me funny because my brother and I liked Earthworm Jim growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the only thing I knew of that was the video game. I did not know there was a cartoon. Like we got into this conversation here like a couple weeks ago. We were talking about Earthworm Jim and Chan was saying how she loved it and missed watching the cartoon. I'm like, wait, it was a cartoon? And then I went up and I dug the toys out because later on, when KB Toys was around, I found the whole wave of those action figures there, and I have a set of them still. And I got them out, and she was playing with them, and we're talking, and it's like, yeah, I had no idea this was a cartoon. I don't remember it at all. The only thing I knew of it was a video game.
Yeah, that's where it started, and then it spawned the other media. I think the cartoon, if I might be wrong, but I thought it was an anime style cartoon. No,
I think it was more of a traditional American.
Oh, okay. I felt
cartoon. I think.
Beautiful. I know Beautiful Joe or something like that had some anime. I mean, maybe that's what I'm thinking about, or something like that. Or Devil May Cry. I think they also had some.
The studios are always overseas as far as I know or whatever. But like, I think it was more of a an Americanized sort of thing. You might be thinking like maybe some of the artwork from like toy packaging or like from the video game, because it was very very stylized. That's for sure.
Yeah. I still got those games like on my Amazon Fire TV. I got the emulators, so I got Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. I still kind of go back to them and just to mess around every now and again. It was cool. Little earthworm in a spacesuit.
Yeah, I can see with especially mass toys, you didn't really need media to buy a toy like that and just be cool, something that just the story on the box or a little backstory on the box would be suffice. You know what I'm saying? You really didn't need to push a toy line like that to give that cool aspect to it. And same thing with Satorians. I remember getting that toy, and I never watched the cartoons, and I thought it was just fucking cool that you can attach whatever the fuck you wanted to attach to those guys and stuff like that.
That's funny you say that.
I never saw that cartoon either.
Yeah, me either.
I saw it after I had figures.
Me too. I think everybody did. It's
but hey, there's I forget what they're called, but there's a company, they're making 6-inch versions of those.
I heard, and it would be great. I would love to have those figures, and definitely, if there's a Kickstarter for it, I definitely would do it. But the thing is I feel like a lot of the '80s toys would be cool if they didn't have any media or the media just revolved around the packaging, but. It's I think it's just Americana that just you have to have a fucking story. It kind of makes sense.
Makes it sell.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's like, hey, we want kids to watch this stuff. We're going to give them a cartoon to sell these toys.
Cartoon.
That's what Star
give me
Wars
the commercial, package it all up, and put it in a nice, blue bow, and call it a day.
Yeah. And now, and the media is not always just a cartoon. Now they're reaching the kids through video games and stuff like that. Where, and the comic books, I would even say even that a little bit less and less, because it's what kids do really read comics? They're so sort of expensive nowadays. But those little free to play apps. You know what I'm saying? That I think that's what this current GI Joe line that everybody's going nuts over. They made a video game where the characters look like these toys. So that's sort of the media for these toys. That's what I heard. Horrible. That's what I heard, but the characters look like it's the same design as these action figures. You know what I'm saying? So that's sort of the media for these figures.
I don't think kids these days know how to read anyway. So always on their fucking computers and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Jose brings up, there's going to be now new media out there. It's just not TV. There's no books. You got Twitter now. You got fucking TikTok. You got all YouTube. you got all this different media show that kids are watching, and now companies need to look into those things and figure out ways, and to use that media to their advantage, because any personality that's out there right now, anybody could be a fucking star. Open up a TikTok or YouTube, and now you're watching. These kids are watching these personalities.
Or live podcasts, right?
Or live podcasts called Enter the Realm. And they just they'll utilize that as exposure, and who's watching you, how many people are watching you. And hey, let me get a commercial. Let me get them to promote my my product. So at least 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 viewers would to see it, and they're buying my product because of it.
Yep. I mean, it makes sense. So, all right, good discussion, guys. That was a good topic, Gary. We got a lot of meat on that one.
Go back to old school. Back to just TV
I like
commercials.
I like it.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So we'll wrap it up with that, and if anybody was gonna stay on and hang out, we could throw a link to the after party in the Realm of Collectors Facebook group.
After party.
So if you're watching, just join in on the fun. You know what I'm saying? So With that said, let's go around the yard once again, get some where you at. We'll call it a night on this 150th episode of Breaking the Mold. So let's switch it up. I'm not going to do the same order. So, Dom, I'll start with you, bro.
You can find me here in the groups, Dominic Grasso, here Tuesday nights with these guys and just chilling, relaxing, minimizing my toy hunts because there's nothing out there.
Yeah. Give it a break. Recharge.
I know it's Chinese New Year and all that bullshit, but
that's almost over, right?
I feel like after Chinese New Year, there's still going to be shit on the shelves. Like it's not going to change.
Be a while.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a while. So,
alrighty. JD.
JD Brocious in the Facebook groups, Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. Here every Tuesday, Wednesday nights on Figure Banging / Shelf Gravy. It is a Shelf Gravy week, so we will see you then.
Shelf Gravy.
That's tomorrow night. Right?
Shelf sauce. You don't call it the sauce. We call it the gravy.
It's gravy time. Gravy time, baby. All right. G Money.
Yeah, find me here with you guys on Tuesday. Get on in the Facebook groups. We're going to get the wellness group more active. Matt and Ralphie, you guys should be all set, ready to go. Approval. And G Money 1010 on Instagram. I just realized I posted a picture this week of the kittens that were being pains in the butt while I was trying to do paperwork and pay bills on the table. And that I've, since 2016, it's the third IG photo that I've ever posted. So
Wow.
I'm certainly off to and one is a car picture, and the other two are cat pictures. So I don't know what that says about me, but we'll
another cat Instagram guy. God,
we'll try and be more. Yeah, so far, right? 2/3.
Great. Another Gary that likes cars and pussy.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to use the hashtag cats of Instagram. Okay,
Right.
Cats of Instagram.
Yeah. Anyway, it's all right.
All right. Oh, go ahead, Dom. You guys.
No. What is that? A whole clip? That's a thing. Oh shit!
It's a thing, bro. Cats of Instagram. Check that out. There's a lot more to that too. So, all right, Brink. Let him know.
Yo, you can find me at Brinkalizer on Instagram, and as JD mentioned, tune in tomorrow night for some shelf gravy. Also, I want to, if you haven't listened yet, please go take a listen to last week's Total Package podcast on their channel. It's very, very interesting stuff. We made a new friend, I think, as a result of that show. In regards to challenges people have with their collecting and their significant others. Also, the Nerd Life Syndicate guys on Friday had a really good discussion about the whole Cara Dune incident from Mandalorian last week.
Yeah.
So go listen to that, man. I really enjoyed that. I wish I could have listened live, but I did catch it later on. It was good stuff.
Nice. Yep, good stuff. Definitely good stuff. And as for myself, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at HarriganBX. Check out Into the Realm on Mondays, 8 p.m. on this channel, and here with these fine gentlemen every single Tuesday night, also at 8 p.m. You could also check out Verbally Challenge with HarriganBX on all podcasts pushing platforms, audio only. So check that out as well. Shout out to the chat squad. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. You guys were on fire. Everybody chiming in on what they thought, on Gary's topic there, and the differences of opinion and stuff, which is good, man. It's good. It's good to see what everybody's into, and what if media drives a person's collecting or if it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see the back and forth and the different responses. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Really appreciate it. Once again, we're going to throw the link out in the Facebook group. So if you guys want to hop in here, come and join us. We'll bullshit for the rest of the evening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check out the rest of the shows on the Cool Table Network. You can find the Cool Table page on Facebook, along with links to all those other awesome podcasts. As Brian brought up, check out the Total Package podcast with the Ladies of the Realm on Thursdays on their YouTube channel. Check out the Nerds Have Spoken crew. They drop every single Thursday night as well. And you got Nerd Life Syndicate every single Friday night on this channel around 9-ish. Check those guys out as well. So that's going to do it for us this week. Everybody out there, please stay safe. Energon Addict, shout out to you, Pop. We love you.
Miss you, brother.
Miss you, bro. So we'll be back next week, all right? Till then, take care, stay safe. Peace out, guys.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Say it with me now.